Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to this week's edition of Illogically Speaking. I am your host, the Logical Lady Jossie. Got my co-host, Big G here. And this week we have a special guest, host of The Second Coming. Andre's with us this week.
What's up? What's up? What's up?
How's everybody?
Smooth, what's good?
Chilling, man. Chilling.
So we are at a milestone for the show. We're at a 3-month mark. We've been doing this since July 5th and 5th or 6th, something like that. But anyway, we're here today, 3 months in. So we decided it'd be a good day to just go back and revisit some topics and see if anything's changed. Any opinions have changed? Have we come anywhere? Of course, because logic doesn't change. Of course, Big G's stuck in his mind. He is where he is. But maybe I might get him to decide it's his responsibility to take care of the baby that he don't want. Okay, never mind. We're going to get to that later. But that's not changing, huh?
This one, shit, it started early. Okay.
No, we put that one. So it's been a crazy week for this whole election thing that's going on. You guys talked about it Wednesday on The Second Coming. 8 o'clock Wednesdays, check them out. But Big G jumped over to join Andre. How'd you guys enjoy that? How was that? Did you enjoy that?
Oh man.
Yo.
Oh man, I enjoyed that, my brother.
Great show.
Listen, it's funny. I told Vic after we literally had a better show after we went off the air.
That's how it is, though. It's so organic. It just goes, yeah.
Take nothing away though. Like I had so much fun. You know, it's crazy because we talking about all of these serious things, man, because like I said, it's serious to us. You know, we live over here. So I really just tried to take the perspective and the mindset of, I wonder what France looking at us like, you know what I mean? Like they got to be laughing their ass off right now.
They actually have tweets of what this was going on before, of how other countries are looking at us, like when the whole Corona thing was happening and how they were watching us handle it. And it was hilarious. I mean, it was sad and hilarious at the same time. You almost have to just laugh at some of the stuff because they were like, you guys look so stupid. Your president is crazy. Like, it is what it is. But you guys covered the debate Wednesday. We got to talk about that shit show. Like, it was just... It's almost like unbelievable at this point. Like, it does not feel like anything presidential about these guys at all. Watching this, and it was just crazy to sit and it's funny. It's a good thing though. But this is one of the most watched presidential debates that I can remember. Because they know it's a shit show.
Because everybody likes the WWE.
Right.
We in the entertainment. We in the entertainment business.
That shit was classic wrestling, okay? Like, you're not gonna do it. Like, it was just, you got a heel, you got a baby face. It was perfect. It was perfect. It was Hulk Hogan versus, you know what I'm saying, Kevin Nash. Like, it was literally what it was.
It was bad, but it was so entertaining that I couldn't turn it off.
Yeah.
Like, because it was frustrating to the point that I wasn't getting anything that I needed out of it. Like, I didn't hear anything that I really wanted.
Zero.
But it was so entertaining. Like, it was just like, I was expecting Saturday Night Live to be better than it was last night. Like, I was expecting like these shows to go.
I didn't watch it yet. You want to know what's crazy? I didn't watch it, and let me tell you, we were geared up to watch it. Like, we wanted to watch it, but honestly,
Chris Rock, like, you think it's gonna? You just know it's gonna deliver.
You couldn't beat that.
I just don't know if it could have been. Yeah, that's like, I don't know if you could do anything. Me and Vic said that was the Saturday Night Live skit.
It's a parody in itself, right?
Yeah, we watched it already.
Watching him just blatantly disrespect the moderator. It's like, Mr. President, you can't talk. I mean, it's to the point where they literally have to change how they're doing the debates now. Yeah. They're literally talking about being able to mute the mics and things like that. What kind of
how can you call yourself a president and we're talking about pacifying you like a fucking child? Like, so now we're gonna mute your mic in order to keep you quiet. That's ridiculous.
That's crazy.
It's ridiculous.
I mean, he playing to his. Yeah, you got to play to who likes you. Most of Trump fans are wrestling fans.
Yeah,
you understand what I'm saying? They be honest, they wrestling fans.
That's true.
They love that. They love theatrics more than they love policy. We watching people actually die And it's seriously crazy how entertained we can be by politics, man. And this is
You know, it's and Trump is actually, he's not the only, aspect of that. You got to think
Oh,
Joe Biden for a very long time has been thought to not be presidential. The
mhm.
only reason that Joe Biden becomes a viable option for candidate is because you got Trump in office.
Who
Like
he's doing again.
like anybody else, Joe Biden was like, oh no, Joe Biden can't be president. But now it makes, what I'm saying, it opens up the door for him, because it's like, well, if fucking Trump can be president,
Anybody can. Hell,
yeah,
Shaq
anybody
is up
can.
next. Hey, Shaq, you
Yeah,
up
like,
next. Like,
right, right.
it's sad, but it's
but
almost scary to think that there is a major chance that he may get back in there. That's what's probably even crazier and scarier, that people have seen this foolishness, excuse me, and they're just like, oh well, I'd rather have him in there than Joe Biden. Like, I'm like, fuck it, let's take a gamble of the dice. Like, here you go.
Somebody, I
so
actually saw somebody say Bob Johnson said he'll take the devil that he knows. And
Wow,
number one, Bob Johnson doesn't care about black people. Let me
black
let me
people
put
at
that
all.
out there. And so I was, that was already, what I'm saying, my thinking. But then the other part about that is just on another level, for black people, we got to stop taking the devil that we know.
Yeah.
Like Vic was talking about how we need to get the, when they don't, they make all these promises, and then they get in office, and then they don't, what I'm saying, stand up to their word. We gotta get rid of these people. We gotta stop taking the devil that we know.
I was having a conversation on Friday with a guy. He was like, Trump isn't really as racist as people think. He's more, it's more classist to him. He's like, it's more an economic thing.
what
He's
it
like, he don't
is,
care.
what it is, it's not Trump directly that
Mhm.
people relate to Trump necessarily being racist.
It's the
What I
perspective.
mean by that, it's not his policies, it's not
Right.
anything that he's necessarily implementing. It's his voting base.
Mm-hmm.
It's empowering his. That's who's voting for him by proxy. You're racist and whatever, whatnot.
Right.
When it comes to Joe Biden, he has shown it through policy.
Yeah.
And that's the dynamic that black people get caught up in, is that,
Exactly.
okay, we got one who's supported by racists, and we got one who has shown us he's outright racist.
Right.
It's like, what the fuck do we really do? Do we just vote for the non-racist just because, okay,
Well,
like
we
you
know
said, the devil we know, that's the devil we know.
Well, hold
We
on,
used to the,
hold on. They both racist.
Yeah.
that's what
Let's
I'm
put that out
saying.
there. They both racist. Trump showed it too. Trump been showing it for a long time. Maybe not through his policies,
Yeah.
but I just it's hard for me to forget, the Central Park Five.
Yeah.
Um,
Okay.
it's
For
hard.
sure.
And then and if it was, and for anybody that did forget, he doubled down on that when Ava DuVernay came out
Yeah.
with the movie, and it was showing that everything. So he doubled down with that, and so
I mean,
not,
that's what we stuck between,
yeah, yeah.
as black
You
people,
got Joe Biden has
that's
been
the
locking us
dynamic
up
that we're
for
stuck between.
unnecessarily for years. You got these laws that he's passing that's getting us. The laws that he's passing are literally affecting us. They're not affecting Shane out in Pasadena. No, they're affecting us, our people.
Yeah.
And we're getting locked up at crazy rates and getting crazy time with these laws. So
Right.
it's like, what do we do? Where's Bernie when you need him? Like, I mean, it's kind of like, what do you do at this point? We just ride it out another 4 and just say, oh, well, we've survived this long.
I mean, I just feel like you got to start somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't, it honestly, tell you the truth, to me it never makes a difference who's president. To me, I think
Right.
our real battle is right there in Congress. They are the legislative branch, and they make, what I'm saying, they make the laws, and they stay in office, some of them up to 40 years.
Forever until
Some
they
of them up to
decide.
40
Right.
years. Yeah. Like, so, and because Congress actually has a lot of power, what I'm saying, about appointing the judicial branch, which is, you start thinking about some of those judges, Those
Yeah.
are a lot of those, not just the Supreme Court,
Supreme.
a lot of judge seats, no circuit court judge seats, and a lot of those are lifetime commitments or
Absolutely.
until retirement. You know what I mean? A lot of them are like that.
It's sad because I don't think we educate ourselves enough on local politics. We just go into the booth and say Democrat all the way down.
Democrat.
I'm voting for Joe Biden, or I'm voting Democrat. I'm just going to vote for this person or whatever. And we don't. And those are the ones that actually hurt us more.
Yes.
You start talking about schooling and local laws and legislation and things like that. Those are the ones that affect us the most, the ones
Right.
in our states and everything. But no one really does that. Well, I'm not going to say no one, but a lot of people don't
A
really
lot
do
of
the
people.
research.
Yeah.
Most people don't do the
You only
research.
think about that
I
every
was
4
laughing
years.
because I was looking at the ballot, and I saw a name and I was like, "Ooh, I'm not voting for her," just because it was a joke. But it was like let's Tanja Shea or something crazy like that. I was like, "Ooh, don't know if I wanted a Tanja Shea." You know what I mean? It was a joke, but I don't know who these people are. And I felt bad because I need to educate myself a little more.
So
Before November 9th on people's policies and things, because they affect us more than anything.
but you know something, Jocelyn, it's funny you should say that, because I'm one that I need to know who the hell you are
Yeah.
before I check a box. But a lot of these politicians, it's hard to even find information on them. Like
Absolutely.
when you doing searches and everything,
True.
like
True.
it's really hard to find information on them, especially at the local level. Because I need to know. I'm looking,
Absolutely.
I'm Google searching you, I'm going on the DNC, like I'm doing that. You know what I mean? So I mean, they also gotta make more information. But again, if nobody's looking for it.
Right. I mean, here you had all these people that built this whole casino in Maryland and down in, the harbor and everything, and put all this stuff down, and they were supposed to give back to these schools, and the schools are supposed to get all this money, and they were supposed to hire all these people. But what they didn't say is that they hired these people for X amount of time. They didn't have to stay employed. They hired them for X amount of time, and then these jobs were like outsourced otherwise. Like, it was crazy. And people didn't pay attention to these things, the small things that really make the big difference in these elections.
Let me tell you, that happens all the time. It's funny
Absolutely.
because um I forget who the mayor was. I want to say Vincent Gray.
Mm-hmm.
Crook.
Most.
He made a deal. He made a deal with the Marriott.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if you know, you got to remember, it was like maybe 2013, 2014, around that time. And he made a deal with the Marriott when they were building the Marquis, that they were going to employ District of Columbia residents.
Yep.
They had like this whole thing where they sent the employees through like a hospitality training, like 6 months long, okay? And these people only stayed employed through the soft opening
Yeah.
of, like, you know what I mean? Like, they didn't even, the soft opening is like, oh, we just want to see how it works. And then they started firing all of these DC residents, And so it's like, yeah, you employed them for a little while, but then as soon as you went through your soft opening, you started getting, you know what I'm saying, your ringers in there, so to speak,
Right.
And that was, you had to do that. That was like, oh, I'll make this deal with me, and I'll let you build this hotel.
So to bring it back to where we are today, your president has been tested positive for coronavirus. And first he had no, I'm very, I don't know, it's sketchy to me, because I did read something. It said basically any president that has had major health issues around the time of election has been elected or reelected, because it's almost the pity factor. But it's so much into this one that is crazy. It's now he's taking some antibiotic that may cure it or whatever. So I feel like that's part of a ploy as well. I'm just one of those people that just doesn't believe everything on site. But what are you? China laughed though. China legit came out and laughed. They were like,
China.
That's what he gets. It's the China flu.
China.
Chinese.
Go ahead, Vic. I'm gonna let you go.
This is crazy.
It's plausible just by how he handles himself, by how he puts himself in a position to acquire the coronavirus, like the stupid shit that he does. and just the dismissal of the virus itself that he has for it. So it's just that makes it plausible. But now myself hope is that he don't die before the election, because it's going to be a whole lot of chaos, because that's a situation that we have never seen before. So
Ever.
that's why it's a monster of two heads, if you want to say that, like, because if he dies, we got Mike Pence, and we don't know what the fuck he on. You know what I'm
But
saying?
then
We don't know what
is
type of time he on.
able to run? Like, how does that work? Because
Right, how does that work?
it's way too much. It's an unprecedented issue that we've
Right,
never
and I'm
seen.
hoping we avoid that. But if he
I feel
lives, it's like, was you really sick?
Right.
So this is the thing, right? So I don't wish death on nobody. I never will, you know. But I won't believe him if he live. I just won't. This administration has lied about far too much. Like, I'm not about to start believing anything they say without proof. And the only proof that you can give me that he had coronavirus is him on a cold slab. Other than that, I don't believe it. I just don't believe it. So the way I look at it is like this. Even one, he lied about it to get away from the current news cycle. Or two, he lied about it to say, oh, I'm cured, so y'all was wrong about how serious it is. Because I'm looking at him. You know what's funny? I keep watching the news. Everybody keep loving saying how, he old and he fat.
Right.
So he should be dead. Like, naturally,
he should definitely have like the more severe case.
Yeah. So with them putting that out there, he's thinking, well, if I don't die, guess what? Y'all wasn't right about this thing. This wasn't as serious as I made it, which is even more dangerous for the rest of us. So I don't know if he has it or not, but I feel like him having it, no matter what, is bad for us. Him having it, not having it, whatever. As right now, if he has it, it's bad for us. If he doesn't have it, but he's lying about it, it's bad for us. Either way, we lose, which we've been doing for 4 years anyway.
But I feel like they're going to try to shove this vaccine down our throats and force people to get it. And I don't know where I am with that. Like, it's too new for me. I'm not sticking anything in my body that's just really came out 3 months ago. No, thank you.
My answer is no. My answer is no.
I took the
again, they don't.
Go ahead, Vic.
This is the thing about vaccines, is that to force a vaccine down our throat is pretty much a war scenario. Vaccine people, especially with this coronavirus, people who don't trust the virus, certain militants who ain't gonna trust this shit either. So you're talking about basically trying to go to war with your people to force a vaccine down their throat. I don't think it's gonna go down like that. I don't think they're gonna get that extreme with it, because they can just simply say, your kids can't come to school without the flu vaccine.
Like any other.
You know what I'm saying? They have measures in to force you to herd immune your community. So it's not, they have pretty much, you can't come back to the office until you get a vaccine. See what I'm saying? They have soft ways that they can do that without saying everybody get a vaccine with a army stationed down the street.
But you know what makes it funny about this unique time in human history, Vic, is now as a parent, if you tell me my kid can't come to school, I'm gonna say, well, you have a distance learning option, do you not? If you tell me as a person I can't go to work, oh well, I have a remote working option, right? Like, because of the time that we're in, this is if they are looking to force it, it's gonna have to be literally by force. And so that puts us, I think that puts us in a very different situation than it would have put us last year. You know what I'm saying?
But this is the thing, though. They don't have to say do it by force. They can just simply say there is no more distant learning. It costs us too much money. We're doing away with it. It's too whatever excuse they can make up to say that we aren't doing that anymore.
Hard to put the toothpaste back in the tube,
now you're
brother.
Still in the same predicament.
Yeah, it's hard to put the toothpaste back in the tube.
Look how well we adapted to going to it. We are more than adaptable people. You know what I'm saying? When we were forced to do something, to go back and just going to work and sending our kids to school, that's normal, and that's how they're touted. That's how they'll continue to use propaganda. Let's get back to normal. Let's get back to normal. But then when you go to the front office to enroll your kid, I'm sorry, per state mandate, we can't enroll no kids without the flu vaccine. Well, do y'all do this in learning? No, we're wrapping that up too. See, and then that, see what I'm saying? Now you force between.
That's gonna be. That's what I'm saying. That's gonna meet a lot of resistance.
Yeah,
that's gonna meet a lot of resistance.
By
and
who?
So I'm agreeing with you.
Money.
I'm agreeing with you at the same thing. It's
people
like
with money, they not hustling that shit. They not go. You can't force someone that has money and power to do something. Period. If they don't want to do it, you can't tell. That's half the problem right there, is telling them that they have to do something, because they are so above everything that you can't tell them that you have to do this, that, and the third. They'll look at you like, what? I'm Warren Buffett. What do you mean I have to do something or whatever? You know what I mean?
And that's not even just the people with money. Think about how us regular people were.
Oh, like, not doing when shit. We went. Well, we're so skeptical of anything that the United States wants to put in us anyway.
Yeah,
we're like,
I'm just saying,
we
like,
remember Tuskegee, like we cool in that shit.
You're not that's not happening. And you gotta think when they originally told us, well, it was suggested that we socially distance and shelter in place. That was cool. But then when they started making it like y'all can't come out, what you see, people start coming out, but like, you ain't gonna tell. Like, I'll stay in if I have the choice to stay in. But if you're telling me I can't come out, I'm coming out, because that's human nature. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know if they want to back people into that kind of corner right now.
No.
After the year we've had, that's gonna be different.
It's gonna be a problem. Again, it's gonna take a little bit of time, but. Yeah, so we're going to start jumping into some of our old topics. I'm so happy I have a third opinion here, because me and this one, we like to fight sometimes, because, my logic and his logic are different. We're both logical, but we have difference of opinions sometimes. So I just want to run back to some of these old topics. And actually, the good lead in on our first show was the Black Lives Matter and the racial tensions that were going on at the time. We started in July, and that's when the George Floyd thing was still very high. Tensions were just kind of really going on. Now you have the Breonna Taylor case.
Wow.
And it's issues going on now. So I don't see much has changed yet. The protests have slowed down, but I don't see anything changing. I don't know any training for these cops yet. I don't know if anything else has changed, but it's, to us, it's as a Black woman, as a Black person, it just feels like we just always just be like, all right, well, this is what it is. They're going to be racist. They're going to keep kicking our ass, and it is what it is. And we got tired of it. But now I feel like we're almost going back to it is what it is. Like, we're so disenfranchised.
Yeah, it's crazy. I was just sitting here thinking that, like, y'all started y'all first show off that way, and my first show started off the same way. And it was like we was really dealing with two different things. Like, you know what I'm saying? We literally dealing with two different things. And it's like any given week, you can be dealing with the same thing. And I agree with you. It's not a lot of change. It hasn't been a lot of forward movement. And at some point you gotta wonder what we're gonna do about this. Because like I said, I don't believe and when we and Vic talked on the other day, I accidentally said the system was broken. And I don't believe that. I don't believe the system broke. I believe it needs to be broken. I believe we need to get out of the system that we're doing. And by force or whatever, I think it's time for us to bring the system down. And I feel like we need to start coming together and figuring out a way to change the system, because if we don't do that, nothing else is going to change.
It's crazy, because we had this conversation with a friend the other day, and we were just talking about what it takes to become a police officer. You literally go through, like most other countries, you are going through like a good year of training, like almost like combat training. Like, they're training you for every possible situation. Whereas here, you literally go through like 3 months, if that. That includes a month of driving and shooting. So you're getting 2 months of training to do a job that you're just not mentally prepared for. It takes you a year to get a barber's license almost. Like you can go cut. It takes you longer to learn how to cut hair than to be a police officer. And they go through this strenuous thing of vetting people. My friend wanted to be a police officer. And when I say this is probably one of the best guys that I know, he had a blemish on his record from when he was like 17, but it was a blemish, like literally a blemish. And it had been expunged and taken off and whatever, but they found it and that was an issue for them. But you go hire this white boy that's been getting beat up since like the 5th grade and you're going to put him in Southeast? Like, come on now, dog. Like, it needs something needs to happen.
That's a good point. Damn. That's a really
So
good point. I
the
like
question
that.
the question has to be asked, then what are they vetting for? That needs to be the
That's what
question.
I want to know. Like,
what are they vetting for? Because if your friend couldn't get in, then it was a character flaw that they seen that wouldn't allow her in. Now, the character flaw isn't something negative, I mean, based upon regular humanity.
right.
But it's based upon what the law enforcement sees as a character flaw. So, you know what I'm saying?
They do these psychological evals and they interview your family and your friends, and you're not telling me that they don't see these things in some of these racist ass cops. You can't tell me that they don't see it. They just don't care.
Yeah.
It's part of the good old boy mentality. Like, oh well, he'll be fine. Like, you're gonna take this dude who is a known racist. Like, he literally probably got a Facebook page with niggas all over it. You know what I mean? And you're gonna put him in the blackest of black neighborhoods? Come on now.
I think that was the other point that you made, is that, you know, why would you not put more people from that area into the area that they're from, that they're familiar with?
All cops ain't bad. I know some cops that know how to talk to people. They right. Cool, like little chill slim, like, go ahead, y'all doing too much, whatever. I ain't trying to get in no trouble today. I'm not trying to lock nobody. I'm not trying to hurt nobody or whatever. But then you got these ones that feel like they got to come in. You don't know anything about anybody over here. You bother Miss Jenkins for having something on her porch that's been there for 20 years. Like, this is her neighborhood. You know what I mean?
Right.
And there's no care. There's no regard there. And we just let anybody in. Y'all ghetto. So that's just how
ghetto. Nah, they ghetto. They ghetto.
I do this.
They ghetto. And you know, I have a hard time subscribing to the idea that there are that there are some good cops. I know that they are. I know, you know what I'm saying? Just like I know there's some good white people, right? But I never some of them good.
White people
but
out there.
I subscribe. There was a quote by Muhammad Ali. He was live on a television show. I forget which one it was, but Ali said, you know, if you running away from snakes, there's 1,000 snakes running at you, and you running away from them, and you get to a door. When you close that door, are you gonna close it on all the snakes, or you gonna see which ones are the ones not trying to bite you? You closing on all the snakes. The way we are. So my thing is, if you don't distinguish yourself as a good cop by pointing out those bad ones,
absolutely,
I can't see you. Just like, you know what I mean? Just like I don't, black people can't feel seen as a black person in my estimation. Like, you can't feel seen by our government. You can't feel seen by, you know what I'm saying, law enforcement. So if you don't see me as a good cop, I don't see you, because you're not doing anything to distinguish yourself as a good cop. I don't see. So I have yet right now to see a good cop. Until I see a cop that drag another motherfucker that kills somebody, drag him in and say, get this piece of shit off the force. Until I see something like that, I don't see a good cop. I'm sorry.
Go ahead, Vic. You got something?
I mean, until y'all see good black people, I can't see good cops. When you approaching every black person as being something suspicious, then when I see police, I gotta look at them in the same manner that you're looking at me. You understand what I'm saying? I can't sit there and try to pick out which one of you are good. Just like y'all will sit around and try to pick out which one of us are good. Y'all harass us en masse.
Absolutely.
Like, and that's the part that people don't get when we say police brutality. We're not just talking about black people getting murdered in the street. That's the extreme version of it. We're talking about my son walking to the store, getting pulled over by the police, slammed on the concrete.
Sitting,
you know what I'm saying? Just because he asked, what are you stopping me for? You get what I'm saying? That's what happens to black men and black people in general over and over and over. So when you see a videotape of somebody actually, man, what the fuck you want now?
Yeah.
That's that frustration that has built up over that repeated behavior.
Yeah.
See what I'm saying? So until y'all can stop y'all behavior just fucking with us, then we can't look at y'all as it having any, we can't afford that luxury. We ain't got that luxury to look at and see y'all as good people when all y'all in mass fucking with us.
So we touched on, go ahead, Andre.
No, I was saying, I remember there was one night, I remember sitting in front of my house. Y'all know, sitting in the car, you know, by yourself in front of your house is y'all know that's life. Y'all know that's just that's some therapy. You know what I mean? Whether you listening to music, whether you sparking a J, it don't matter what you doing. You are sitting there and you just relaxing because there's nowhere more peaceful than your car in front of your house.
Right.
Okay. And so I remember sitting in front of my car, sitting in my car one night and was harassed by police 3 different occasions that night, sitting in front of my house, y'all. Like, and I'm supposed to see police, and like all of them came up like it was a new incident on 3 different occasions. Yeah, I don't see no. Yeah.
So we talked about, like, at that time, there were a lot of like protests and riots and things. What are your thoughts on, rioting, when these situations take place?
They lucky I ain't in shape, but I'll be out there doing that shit too. And I'm gonna tell you right now. I don't have a problem with it, not because I condone it or anything like that. I don't have a problem with it because I feel their frustration.
You understand.
I understand it. People are pissed off, mad, and they really don't know. They're like, nobody has an answer for what else to do.
That's it.
And I've watched. Let me tell you something. I watched a bunch of white people at Penn State riot and tear down a city because they lost. I watched people. I watched them tear down cities because they won. Like, white people get the riot all the time and nobody says anything else about it. Black people, we get frustrated to a point. I'm trying to tell you, we are all superheroes. Our level of restraint is fucking legendary. So when you finally get pissed off and want to burn some shit down, fucking do that shit. I'm let me see, maybe I shouldn't say do it, but I understand it.
I understand. That's where I am. That's not like my approach per se, just because that's not me. Like, I'm not gonna go tear up some shit just because. But I get it. I read a quote. It said, "Black people are tired of loving a country that doesn't love them," and just think about how you will feel in a relationship with somebody. You giving your all, you keep showing how much you love this person. They constantly, when I say shit on you, they're just shitting on you. Eventually you're gonna burn that bed. Like, you gonna set that motherfucker on fire. Like, it is what it is. Again, that's not my approach, but I totally understand and I'm with it. But it just seems like they try to make us seem like animals, and in a lot of the cases it wasn't even us doing a lot of the damage. That's what's crazy. They put our face on it because it's our fight, but you see them busting more windows and setting more fires than we were, and it's like, come on now. Vicky, good?
My initial thought on that was that you have white people that's tired of the police too.
Why?
You understand why? Because they fucking with them too.
They fucking with them too. Hold on, Josh. They fucking with them too. I'm
the niggification of America. It's the niggification of America, man. Everybody niggas now. If you look at it like this,
I feel way more confident and comfortable when I'm riding with my white boys than I'm riding with my black boys. Let's be clear. When I'm riding dirty with my white boys,
there's levels to it. But there's levels to it. But when that white boy get pulled over, he used to be able to tell the police, "Why the fuck are you pulling me over?" And the police was, "Okay, I'm sorry." Now it's get out the car. As soon as he gets slit, get out the car. So there is called the niggification of America. If you bring us up, then we're equal with white people. Guess what happens? Everybody gets fucked with the same way.
Yeah, no.
So that's what they fighting for. They fighting to return their white privilege. Hold on.
Yeah. No.
Where's this privilege? It's real.
It's funny, Jocelyn. Like, you got to think about it like this. So when I was starting my first show, I was doing a lot of research into the statistics, you know, and as a percentage, you know, like per capita, we have, you know what I'm saying, they're killing us at a higher clip. You know what I mean? Based on how many
of us versus how many of them.
Right. However, they killing the shit out of white people too. Like
Yeah.
they not.
Okay, but is it how many of them are getting shot in the back? How many of them
Hold
are
on.
getting choked out? They're not. No,
You're
they're
right.
getting
You're
killed because
right.
they're hopped up on fucking meth somewhere. Yes,
But
I'm
You're
going
right.
see,
You're
but,
right.
to
Hold on. Hold on.
but
Hold on. You're right. But they deserve. We are as citizens. It's our right to get our day in court, no matter what your crime
right,
is. Like the
right.
cops. The cops are not the judge, jury, and executioner. Your job is to arrest assailants. You get what I'm
But
saying?
let me
So
say,
you're not. Go ahead.
as a police officer, I'm not one, but I would think my first thought is I'm trying to go to fuck home tonight. That's my number one thing every day is I want to make it home tonight.
That's
And
true.
in some cases, I've seen people test people. I've seen
True.
and test police officers in many occasions. You're not gonna tell
Yeah.
me that you're gonna spit in my face, you're gonna kick me in my balls, and I'm supposed to just be like, I'm
No,
super calm.
but
I'm just gonna stand with my
but
hand. Nah, you
you
getting
have
tased.
No,
your
no.
measures for that. You have your measures
But
for
they're
that.
not getting trained for that. That's the problem. They're
So
not
that's
telling you.
so
They're
you're coming back
literally
around to the point that we're making is policing is
mm,
the problem. Like
mm,
the wide ranging issue is policing because until police get trained properly, they ain't gonna just the thing, they've been militarized, they
yeah,
got tanks, they got weapons that only I thought only the
boomers.
United States military was supposed to have. And they got
Listen,
all these things and they're using these things on our streets. These things are not even supposed to be used. These things were made for war, and because there were a surplus of them, they put them on the streets. That shit is fucking crazy.
take this
And
children.
now, yeah, like I'm not. My thing is black, white, Puerto Rican, Asian, polka dot, whatever the fuck your color is, you should be policed the same way. Period.
Yeah. So we're going to jump into one of the other
Yeah.
shows we talked about. When the ladies came, we talked about the women being protected by black men, black women being the least protected, most unprotected group.
Bullshit.
I totally disagree. I just don't feel that nobody protects you guys. I don't know who's there to protect you all. Um,
Bullshit.
I've been in situations where I was out, and I think I spoke on this on that actual show. And I was in Adams Morgan. It's a little drinking spot down in DC. It's a spot with a bunch of bars. Mixed culture. It used to be a lot of white folks, but it's a mixed culture. And I was walking down the street and some drunk white guys came up and a white boy came behind me and he like hugged me from behind and he grabbed my boobs and did like a humping action. Never seen him a day in my life, right? So these black guys that I had met probably literally 3 minutes before at the pizza spot, they beat the brakes off these white boys, like beat the brakes off of them. Like, dog, what the fuck is going on? Like, you don't know her or whatever. And then they ended up taking all of them to jail, but they all got out or whatever. It was no court or whatever. But my thing was, I felt so protected at that moment. Like, my boy, I don't know these dudes from a can of paint. And you saw someone doing something to me that you deemed was inappropriate and you stood up for me. I've never felt unprotected by black men. I have 6 brothers. I feel totally protected. I don't know. So what does that mean? When you hear that, what's the first thought that comes to your head? Or what do you think people mean when they say that black women are the most unprotected group in America?
Um, Number one, I am totally and completely against the separation for black men and black women as a culture. We got to stand together. Um,
Absolutely.
I feel like the narrative that has always been ran is to keep us separated as much as possible. Like
Mm.
they're constantly wanting us to be against each other. Oh, we're the most unprotected. We're the most. I mean, listen, black people are the most disenfranchised people
Mm-hmm.
all across the board. So, you know what I'm saying? Like if black women don't feel protected, let me take it back. I'll say this. So back during the time of slavery, and I hate to reference slavery, but it is a good. I
It's the
think it's a good.
foundation of us
Yeah,
being here.
it
I'm
is.
not
It's
saying
the
I
it's
think
the
it's our
barometer of us
foundation
being
here.
in America.
Mm-hmm.
So back in slavery times, you had a man who was married to a woman, right? He's a slave as well. So when they send his woman off to, you know what I'm saying, have sex with or entertain some man, like he can't fight for her And if he does, he's gonna get his fucking head cut off.
Death.
You get what I'm saying?
And some torturous way, not even head cut off. It's gonna be some torturous death.
There's gonna be something. It's gonna be something. It's gonna be something to remind you. Like, yeah, it's gonna be something to remind you. Like, oh, she ain't yours. She's not yours. She's our property. So we not in a position. We're not in a position to do what we need to do to protect our women the way we want to, because they have done what they've done to us as a whole. You get what I'm saying? Our culture as a whole. But it's not because like it's not. I don't think it's because of a lack of our effort or our, you know what I'm saying, what we want to do. It's we're not protected as Black people. You get what I'm saying? Like, so I don't think that goes against it.
Man protecting women thing, I don't see it across other cultures. I've never heard white women say, oh, white men don't protect us, or Indian men don't protect us, or Asian men don't protect us, or Latin men don't protect us. It just seems like it's a gripe at this point. Like, it's just what are you protecting us from that you all, like you said, you all aren't going through yourselves. So you gotta shield off from yourself and then still use your other hand to shield us and your children and your granny and everybody else. Like, who are you? I don't understand what that means.
Because why was we skipping around and shit? They want us to protect them from their bad decisions. They want to be able to do what the fuck they want to do and still have the protection from us to do what the fuck they want to do. And that's what it comes down to. You want to step out in Black college reunion half naked, but you don't want to take the risk that some man is going to touch you. Is it right? No, but that's the dangers of doing that shit.
Absolutely.
So now you looking at us and saying, well, why y'all ain't stopping them? The first thing coming to my mind is, why are you trespassing like this? Yeah. Now, you don't want to take responsibility, so you come up with a saying of, I should be able to wear what you want to wear. You're right, you should be able to. But in a real world, that doesn't work like that. So it comes down to, y'all Black men ain't protecting us from our bad choices, our bad decisions. So that's why when Black men look at it, everything that's I'm talking about real life or death consequences, Black men are coming up and protecting Black women. I can show you 1,000 instances of this.
Absolutely.
So when you say that Black men ain't protecting Black women, we asking y'all for what?
Yeah, there was a post actually on Facebook that I was at, and y'all might have seen it too, but the post simply asked, you know, if you see a Black man, or if you see a Black man and a Black woman fighting, arguing, like, as a man, and the man puts his hand on him as a man, are you stepping into that, right? Mm-hmm. So I've done that before. I was younger. I was a lot younger. You know what I'm saying? A lot, you know, I'm just doing it, not really, you know, when you're younger, you do things without thinking about it, right? Mm-hmm. And I swear, y'all, I'm actually in a car with my girlfriend at the time, and we're at a red light, and this dude is hauling off and just beating this woman in the passenger seat, okay? And I'm at the red light. I jump out my car, run to his shit, drag him out of his car, okay? And this dumb chick is like, no, don't hurt him. Don't hurt him. He's kicking your ass. Like, I'm trying to figure out. But then it's crazy because I don't know if y'all watch P-Valley. Well, I watch P-Valley, and I'm watching this girl, you know what I'm saying, who get her ass beat all the time, and now somebody's fighting on her behalf, and she pulls a gun on nigga. So this is my thing. Now that I'm older and I got time to think about this, number one, I don't want y'all two motherfuckers to jump me. Number two, I don't want somebody to pull a weapon on me and kill me, because I got a family I got to go home to. So no, I'm not. If that's your opinion of protecting you, no, hell no, I'm not doing that shit.
My oldest brother's in the same way. My oldest brother, he was the guy that he ain't care who it was. You see a guy putting his hands on a girl, you jumping in, he's fighting everybody. Like, he's that guy. Like, that was him. And then this one, like you said, same situation, same thing happened. He ended up getting stabbed at a place, and the girl knew the guy or whatever. My brother I'm gonna tell you, my brother was doing street justice. He goes to the girl and was like, what's up? What's the guy's name or whatever? What's his, you know? And she's like, no, you can't do this. And he's like, dog, you was getting beat to a bloody pulp, and this nigga done stabbed me up. Excuse my language. This guy done stabbed me up, and you're not gonna tell me. So at this point, my brother's now like, well, look, if it ain't family, fuck him.
See, and that's what I'm saying. See, the unreasonable expectation of me being a stranger and you want me to jump into your relationship and your issues and stop that and save you from
But
that
is
is an
that what we
unreasonable
need?
expectation. And here's why. You're expecting me to just give my life to you, and I don't know you. You want me to sacrifice my children, my family, to people who love me for you, and you are an unknown variable. I don't know how you're going to react to this. Let's say I do lose my life. You're not going to look me up, see where my family is, and be like, you know what? I'm going to look out for your kids for saving my life. You're not going to do that.
Nah.
What's weird is the women that I hear say this, I don't think that they're referring to domestic violence situations. It just sounds like that they're just saying it like, just to say that we get disrespected. And a lot of times we disrespect ourselves in ways that you can't save me from. If I want to show my whole ass and cooch on Instagram, what you supposed to snatch me up and say, no, sister, don't do that?
Well, yeah, I mean, are black women disrespected? Yes. Are black men, disproportionately arrested? Yes, yes. But this is the thing: I'm not going to get in a tug of war with my own people about I'm getting hurt the most. You getting
The
hurt the most.
struggle that we have a
I'm so
struggle
I'm so
fixation.
over. Yeah, like I'm just so over us looking for reasons to fight with each other.
We
I'm
would like to
so
out
over
struggle
that.
each other. I think that's half of it.
Yeah.
I think as women, we know you guys go through a lot of shit. You guys have the weight of the world. I don't think that anyone has more weight than a black man, honestly. Like, you cannot leave your house without certain fears. And I think that we sometimes feel like, well, wait a minute, we have fears and struggles too. So we got to be going again, try to out struggle you guys. Well, we got to raise kids and we got to try to make the same amount of money. That's still not the same as literally leaving your house and being afraid that you may die. Like, that's not a fear of mine. I don't have that fear. I don't have a fear that you guys have that I can imagine when a police officer gets behind you. Yeah, I'm scared because I ride dirty sometimes, but I'm not like as fearful as I can imagine that a black guy would be if I was a 41-year-old black man. It will be total different fear.
Well, I got. It's funny you should say that because I remember Vic and I were talking, and I told him me and my father had a conversation,
Mhm.
and I've been hearing a lot more lately. A lot of women say, I wish I was a man, or
Yeah,
say shit like
use a
that.
lie.
And my thing is,
Use a
my thing
lie.
is, my thing is, me and my father were saying like, you'll never know everything that a man goes through. And we're not going to say how like this we deal with this much and we do that's not how we operate. You know what I'm saying?
Hilarious. Like, when a father literally is responsible for shaping their child's life, whether they're in it or they're not in it. So if they're not in it, they're fucked up because dad wasn't in it. And then if they're in it, he's responsible for literally shaping every decision that this child makes later. So you don't
But
get
he
that
only
with,
get credit for the bad ones.
of course.
He don't
You
get
don't get
credit.
that with
You don't
mothers.
ever you
Mothers,
don't ever hear a father get credit for the greatness of
I
their
never do.
children. You never
Mm-hmm.
hear that. Think about it. All the NFL and NBA, all of the athletes. They talk about first thing you want to do, buy your mom a house.
Mm-hmm.
Buy your mom a house. And some of them, and more than not, most of them have their fathers in their life.
Yeah.
Like we're like they like to plaster it out like, oh, they come from these rundown places and their dad's not in the home. Most of them got their damn daddies right in the house. He's
That was true
training
with
you.
them.
He's
It's
training you.
true with them all night long.
Matter of fact, when he had you out there at 4 o'clock in the morning, your mother was mad at him the next day, but he said, hey, this boy gonna go to
Mm-hmm.
if he wanna do this, I'm gonna make sure he do it. He don't do the baby like that. This nigga gonna not be a baby one day, and he gonna be jumping and he gonna be running, and I'm gonna make sure he do it better than everybody else. And dad is the one that's doing that. Dad is the one that's making those pushes. You get what I'm saying? But
Mm-hmm.
he gets when it's out there like that. They'll put Kevin Durant up there talking about I'm the real MVP. When the last time you seen somebody push the narrative of an NBA player who love his damn daddy or NFL player that love his damn father? They LeVar
Mm-hmm.
Ball lay ass. LeVar
Mm-hmm.
Ball got all his boys being talked about,
Mhm.
and what they do, he crazy. That's something wrong with him. Man, that man is a real damn father.
Absolutely. I find that. I think we talked about that before, like how children in sports, it's a whole
Because they
different
don't
world. when dad's around and when mom's is. Moms will literally let you have a day off. Oh, he tired. Tired? What? Boy, you better go run them 50 laps around the track or whatever. I'm gonna let you have a light day. You gonna only shoot 50 free throws instead of 100, but that's your light day for you. But mom's gonna be like, oh, he's tired.
Tired.
You can relax. No, we don't have that luxury of being
Go
tired.
ahead and be tired at that junior college, sir, because you ain't going to Division
Right.
One. How about that? Go ahead and be tired and be a walk-on because you're not getting that scholarship. Dads don't have that shit. You're not tired because guess what? The person you competing against, they're not tired
at all.
They're not tired. So that's
Go
all.
ahead,
Go ahead, Vic.
They don't respect they see discipline, but they misinterpret the discipline. It's not necessarily just reckless discipline. Discipline with focus, with work ethic. That's what dads instill in their sons, man. How about now? We turn this off.
You better.
How about now? Still.
It's a little shady, but we working with it.
All right, my bad. But what I'm saying is that dads instill that discipline with focus and work ethic.
Mm-hmm.
You understand what I'm saying? Mom might get you into discipline, but it's hard for her to get you into focus and work ethic. You know what I'm saying? She might even feel two of them, but for a mom, it's hard for her to do that. She's used to multitasking. You know what I'm saying? Dads ain't no multitasking. We doing this 100 times until you good at this. Then we can move on. And like dads just instill a different kind of confidence because once you see you can do 1,000, you see you can do 1,500 now. So dads instill discipline and focus to show you that goals can be accomplished, but they're not going to be accomplished quickly. And that's the difference you see between boys with a father and boys without a father.
Absolutely.
Boys without a father.
Can you tell a difference? A lot of cases, like, can you tell when you meet a woman? Can you tell and say, "Oh yeah, she ain't got no daddy in her house." She ain't got no daddy. She ain't no daddy around.
You smell it. What do you mean? Listen. I was man. I was just talking to my best friend. Y'all know I have my best friend on, and I was saying, men smell shit like that, like dogs smell fear. We pick up on it. You talk about being hunters and hunting prey. That's the type of sense we pick up on. Hey, she got low self-esteem. let me get up in. We can do it easy. Like it's nothing to it. You know what I mean? Matter of fact, y'all just gave me an idea for a show, but we're going that.
My best friend, he told me that when he was dating, when he was younger, he actually hated dating girls or going to a girl's house that she knew that her dad was there. He was like, oh shit. Like he could charm her mother, hey, pretty lady, and smile in her face, but he couldn't bullshit her father. And he was like, I legit hated dating girls. Like he would seek out the ones that didn't have their dad. And I was like, what? I would think that he was like, no,
not when you're a kid. Not when you're a kid.
Not when you're
kid. Not when you're a kid. When as a man, you want to be, you know what I'm saying? You don't got no problem, you know what I'm saying, stepping up and facing her dad. But when you're a kid, like when you
17, 18, 19, 20,
24.
You ain't trying to build nothing with a woman.
Hell no. You ain't trying to
build a damn
I got
thing
offended when I first met my best friend. He told me because his parents are amazing. Like his dad was like, solid. And he told me that he would not date a woman seriously, or marry a woman that didn't come from a 2-parent home. And I was like, fuck you mean? Wait, that's kind of offensive. And he was like, no, he's like, he said, because they deal with conflict totally different. He said he saw how his parents handled things and how they work things out, whereas someone else, they're just easy to walk away. Well, fuck it, I don't need you, or they don't need anyone. That's the thought in their mind. Like they see my mother raised 8 of us by herself, and I could do it or whatever. And he said what he found with girls that had both parents in the house, they were more willing to work it out, fight for it, talk through it, and just handle conflict totally different. And of course, the key word, that submit word, comes into play. You see, everybody's mom is not submissive, of course, but you just see this balance of parents working together. Whereas in a single home, you see someone doing everything their own. You get accustomed to think that that's just how it's supposed to be, and you got to do everything. So you go into these relationships trying to do everything by yourself, or saying that I can do it. And that's why he was just like, I'm not marrying a woman that didn't grow up with both parents in her home. And I was like, okay, now it makes sense when you say it like that. Like I was
It,
offended.
it's extreme to say I'm not, but I understand it. Like
Yeah.
so, because I just feel like maybe even though they didn't grow up like that, you know, because I'm gonna tell you for all the women that I dated, I may have met three fathers,
Hmm.
and I'm not no four actually four, but I don't count one date as a date because it was only one date. Now I ain't gonna get into
You
that
had the
right now.
daddy on the first date? Lord.
Y'all, I just told my wife that story. Y'all don't even want to hear it. Like
Okay.
for real, it's a bad story, but you know, so it's. I feel like I said, when you dealing with somebody, they got to be open to compromise. Like I heard you say the word submit, you know, and
Mhm.
it's not about individuals, whether it's the man or the woman. It's not about individuals submitting. It's about the collective compromising. And I think people got to get away from like the same way as dog whistles in politics, it's
Mhm.
dog whistles in human interaction. You want and you say things and they set
Right.
the other people off, and you got to stop
Submission.
doing shit like that. You got to
The
stop setting
word
other people off.
submission is like, what do you mean? I'm not getting down on my hands and knees for no
Why
guy.
you
That's
could
not what I mean. Like,
know
dog,
what
just
I mean?
like you literally take your role as an employee more serious than you take your role as a
Man,
wife. Like you know who
man,
your boss is. You listen to what the fuck he says.
Submit like shit at work, don't you?
black men consider submission just cooperation.
That's it.
That's our version of submission.
That's
Like
our version.
seriously, our
But it
version
has,
is just
but
simple
I think
Hey,
cooperation and
hold on, time out, brothers.
compromise.
Can you say that one more time and look in the camera real close? Cause
Black men version, black man version of submission is cooperation. That's it.
that's all.
That's
but
all we
it
want is
comes with, let me speak
cooperation,
from the black woman
compromise.
side. It comes from trust. You have to trust this person. You have to be able to trust you enough to say, I'm gonna allow you to, I'm gonna be what you need me to be. I'm gonna do what you need me to do, but I have to trust you to say, all right, I'm gonna put my guard down, I'm gonna relinquish some of my power and I'm gonna put it into you. But we don't trust you.
Okay,
You guys have to give us
okay.
that
Here's the
trust.
thing.
I'm about to blow
Here's the
your mind
thing.
real quick.
Go ahead.
Can
Go
I do
ahead.
it,
Go
Vic?
ahead.
Can I do it
Go ahead.
real quick? Okay,
Go
go.
ahead. Go ahead.
So, how about this? And this is for people. This is for women. This is for men. How about we as people start to think of trust as a choice? Because this is the thing. People talk about earning trust, right?
Mm,
But if you never make the decision to trust somebody,
mhm.
it doesn't matter what they do to earn it. So you, what I say earlier when we were talking about, us making some advancement as a people, we got to start somewhere.
Yeah.
Somebody got to say, you know what, today is the day I'm going to try you. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? Today is the day I'm going to try you. Like when you walk into class when we was kids, what they say, you got an A on the first day. It's your
Yep.
job to
Work
keep
your
it.
way down to maintain.
At some point, we got to say, okay, today is your A day and we're gonna see how you do tomorrow and the day. But at some point, we gotta clear the slate. We gotta say, I'm gonna make a choice to trust you, and you gotta continue to earn it. At some point, we
Mhm.
gotta do that.
Hmm. Wow. We
Her
didn't
mind
even
blown. Her mind blown. Let's put that out.
If you don't, hold on. I just want to expound on that real quick. If you don't trust me, why are you making me your anything? Why are you getting in any kind of relationship with me if you don't trust me? If I'm saying with you, I'm in a committed relationship with you,
Yeah.
I have trust in you to enough that I have trust in you. I have to. I'm saying I'm developing a relationship. You go to work 40 hours before you see a guy. That's trust like a motherfucker, ain't it?
Trust like a motherfucker, man.
But you telling me that you can invest even more time with me and you don't trust that you're gonna get paid something? You don't trust because that's it. You looking for a benefit out of it, whether it's a feeling, emotion, financial, whatever the fuck it
Absolutely.
is, you're looking for something out of it. But you don't want to put that in. You don't trust me enough to put that in so you can get that out of it. And then you blame me for you not getting that out of it. Because you never trusted I can give it to you in the first place. That shit is the backwards ass thinking of how we getting along with each other.
Man,
And that shit goofy.
It
man,
is.
man.
But again, it's fair and it comes from past situations. If you don't go into certain things with the knowledge that you've received from past situations, you're a fool. So it's you're going to go in there a little guarded, of course, and then slowly you're because we had a conversation about titles and relationships, and we said you don't know someone 3-4 years and still fully. There's things that you're still finding out about somebody 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years down the line that you don't know
I'll go you one better. You never know. You never know anybody.
fully at all.
People change every single day.
All the
So
time.
you know, when I watched that show when y'all did it, and I was sitting over here screaming. We listen. We as people always change. You change every single day, whether it be for the better or for the worse. You change every single day as a person. You know,
Absolutely.
and so if you're with somebody and you haven't made the choice to continue to want to know that person and who they are every single day, because
Mm-hmm.
that's what the work of an actual relationship is in a marriage. You know, so when you're talking about marriage, like, yeah, if y'all just want to date, y'all just want to date, it is what it is. But now if you're talking about building towards a marriage, you're now talking about, is this the person I want to get to know for the rest of my life? Because that's what it is. You're getting to know somebody forever. And see, but a lot of people,
Forever.
because of what divorce, because of how rampant divorce is in this country, a lot of people forget that marriage is supposed to be one of those forever things.
Supposed to.
And because it's two of y'all, it's supposed to be a couple of forevers. Shout out to Chris and Michelle. Love that
Because
girl.
Michelle. Thank
So
you.
it's supposed to be a couple of forevers. You get what I'm saying? And so if that's the case, you're getting to know somebody for the rest of your life. And you're
Mm-hmm.
making the decision to learn and grow with somebody until death do you part.
Whew,
And if
that
you
just
can't
feels so
think, and
long, Lord.
if you can't think
Yeah,
like that, don't get into it.
it sounds so long.
Expectations, mother
That's
of disappointment.
Yeah.
Because people have expectations. People have
Yeah.
expectations that some people won't change, and other people try to change people to what they want them to be. And that's where the mashing of heads come in. That's just nobody wants to look at somebody for what they are or what they transformed into. Just look at them in all of that. Like,
I'm
okay.
gonna be honest, and I'm the only lady speaking on this. 90% of times women look at you guys as like a piece of clay, Play-Doh. Like we want to build you into what the fuck we want. Do we want them to have this down here? We feel like
Big
that's how
mistake.
we go into things. Whereas
Big
you guys
mistake.
pass into who you are. You guys aren't changing at 40 years old. You're not changing much of who you are at this
Hey,
point.
look at me. That's a big mistake. Look behind me. That's a space-sized mistake. Okay, making that
That's
is
just what we do. Now, how many times have you heard? I was on another
Man,
conversation. How many times have you guys been like, "Well, I don't like such and such. I don't like sushi per se," and you'll tell a broad you don't like it, but then she'll still want to take you to this.
oh,
But
let's
this is
try
the
it.
best sushi
Yeah,
on earth. They have the
yeah,
best. This and just try it. So
yeah.
it's kind of like we want to build you up to what we want you to be. um and men just aren't that. So that's where a lot of the push and pull comes from, is we want to make you what we want to make you, but you guys are steadfast and stuck in who you are, and it's just not working. You guys are like that Play-Doh that's been sitting out all night. You can't mold that shit no more. That
it's
shit's
not.
hard. It's firm. And so that's where a lot of it comes from.
Some men have purpose.
Yeah.
Some men have purpose. Some men already know their purpose. They don't need you to try to give them a new purpose.
Right.
That might annoy them. I know what I'm trying to do, but you're telling me I should be doing this. You understand? And as a man, that's like me going against my own life just to please you. I'm not going to stop my life and become what you want me to be. That's silly. Go find him.
Go find him. And
Go.
it's funny you should say that. It's funny you should say that because most of those women that's running around trying to mold men into, like things of clay, most of them are the same women talking about some ain't no this is what make a real man, and this how, because see, this is the thing. You didn't walk past 10 real men because you looking for your science project. And let me tell you, I actually feel, so when you get married, you actually feel like you've come to the end of a science project, because you dated, you know what I'm saying, you've been through whatever you've been through, and then you finally found the person you're married to. And so I asked myself before I got married, what made my wife the
Your
one,
wife.
right? Like what is it about her that makes me want to, and it's so many things. It really is. It's so many things. And I'm not saying that to boost her head up or nothing like that, but it's so many things. I think the main thing though, the thing that attracted me to her, that was so different from other women, was she just accepted me. She just accepted me for who I was. It wasn't about her changing me or anything like that. She just basically accepted me for who I was. And that might seem like a small thing. I'm gonna tell you,
A lot of women miss that.
that's not
We miss
something
that.
that
A
women
lot
do.
of us miss that
That's
part.
not something that women do. Women don't accept men. It's
Absolutely.
always, as a man, it's always something you can do more. They don't ever say like, "Hey, he gonna be this." You know what I'm saying? And I like him this way. I like him the way he is. You never get that. You never get that. You know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna tell you something. It makes a difference, because the woman that wants nothing is the woman that deserves everything. That's the way men think. That's the way men think. So if you don't want to change anything about me, it's probably gonna make me want to change all of the bad stuff about me. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
That's the way we work as men. You can't change us, but you can be the catalyst for our change. All you got to do is get the fuck out the way and let us grow up. You get what I'm saying? Don't get in my way. Don't say, wait, maybe if you grow to the left, nigga, let me grow. You don't tell a tree where the branch is supposed to go. You just keep watering it with acceptance, ladies. And you keep and you give it some sunlight with space, ladies. And then you allow it to grow. Guess what? You're gonna get yourself a goddamn great man out of that.
Guys, we didn't touch on half the topics that we've gone through this week. Andre, I'm probably going to have you back, because I still need a third opinion, because I don't trust this one right here all the time. So we are going to finally go through all of these shows and figure out where we are today. This has been an amazing show. Oh my gosh, it just like flew by. I appreciate you, sir. You'll be back for sure.
Hey man, I love this.
I'm telling you, I'm not even
Good
asking.
looking, smooth,
This is
good
my
looking
show
out.
right
I
now.
love this, man. I love
Shout your
your
show out. When's your show?
Hey man, the second coming, Wednesdays, 8 p.m. I'm just I'm gonna keep having fun, man. This was a ball, and I'm gonna keep having fun, man. And y'all welcome to come through anytime. If we just gonna do this.
What?
Oh,
Let's just do this. Let's just do this whenever.
This is like kicking it with my homies.
Absolutely.
Y'all, it's been great. We'll check you out next week. Illogically speaking, out. Peace.